Coming up on 5 Minute News. Joe Biden breaks silence on voting rights passage. Dr. Fauci stands up against right-wing propaganda. And North Korea launches a more advanced missile. It's Wednesday, January 12th. I'm Anthony Davis. President Joe Biden challenged senators on Tuesday to stand against voter suppression, urging them to change Senate rules in order to pass voting rights legislation that Republicans are blocking from debate and votes. Biden told a crowd in Atlanta that he'd been having quiet conversations with senators for months over the two bills, a lack of progress that has brought criticism from activists in his own party. "I'm tired of being quiet," he shouted. "I will not yield. I will not flinch." Current rules require 60 votes to advance most legislation, a threshold that Senate Democrats can't meet alone because they only have a 50-50 majority with Vice President Kamala Harris to break ties. Republicans unanimously oppose the voting rights measures. Not all Democrats are on board with changing the filibuster rules. Conservative Democratic Senator Joe Manchin threw cold water on the idea on Tuesday, saying he believes any changes should be made with substantial Republican buy-in. And even if Democrats clear the obstacles to passage of the voting rights laws, it could be too late to counter widespread voting restrictions passed in 19 states following former President Donald Trump's 2020 loss and his lies, embraced by many in the GOP, that the election was stolen through voter fraud. "This matters to all of us," Biden insisted. "The goal of the former president and his allies is to disenfranchise anyone who votes against him." Vice President Kamala Harris spoke before Biden on Tuesday, warning that a barrage of laws making it tougher to vote means there is a danger of becoming accustomed to these laws, as though they are normal. Republicans who have fallen in line behind Trump's election misinformation are separately promoting efforts to influence future elections by installing sympathetic leaders in local election posts and by backing for elective office some of those who participated in the riot at the U.S. Capitol a year ago. Dr. Anthony Fauci, the U.S. government's top infectious disease expert, angrily accused a senator on Tuesday of making false accusations that are leading to death threats against him, all to raise political cash. Republican Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky has repeatedly claimed that Dr. Fauci is dishonest about the pandemic, and in a hearing on Tuesday also falsely claimed that he tried to take down some scientists who disagreed with him. Lacking in any degree of detail, Paul and other conservative critics have focused their ire at Dr. Fauci, with right-wing news channels and online groups painting him as an enemy of the state and suggesting he should be arrested for his handling of the pandemic. In reality, Dr. Anthony Fauci has devoted his life to public service and has advised multiple presidents over decades to protect the health of the American people. Fauci has needed increased security since 2020 because of threats and harassment against him and his family. On Tuesday, Fauci expressed frustration that this far into the pandemic, the senator still accuses me of things that are completely untrue and kindles the crazies out there. He pointed to the arrest last month of a California man who was on his way to the nation's capital to kill a list in power, including Dr. Fauci. Court documents show the man had an AR-15-style rifle, ammunition, and body armor in the car. Fauci said Senator Rand Paul's website has a Fire Dr. Fauci page and includes a call for political contributions ranging from $5 to $100, and accused Paul of using the pandemic for political gain. The feud overshadowed a hearing of the Senate Health, Education, Labor and Pensions Committee designed to examine if policy changes are needed while the US is battling the hugely contagious Omicron variant. North Korea appeared to test-fire a ballistic missile on Tuesday that may be more advanced than a hypersonic one it launched less than a week ago, South Korea's military said, as Pyongyang pursues increasingly powerful weapons. Tuesday's launch, condemned by authorities in Washington and Tokyo, prompted an expression of concern from the UN Secretary-General, underscored North Korean leader Kim Jong-un's New Year's vow to bolster the military with cutting-edge technology at a time when talks with South Korea and the United States have stalled. Initial estimates found the missile travelled more than 435 miles to a maximum altitude of 60 kilometres at up to 10 times the speed of sound, South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff said in a statement. The US military's Indo-Pacific Command said while it had assessed that the launch did not pose an immediate threat to the United States or its allies, it highlights the destabilising impact of North Korea's illicit weapons program. North Korea has joined a global race in developing hypersonic missiles, usually defined as types reaching at least 5 times the speed of sound, and which can maneuver at relatively low trajectories, making them much harder to detect and intercept. The nuclear envoys of South Korea and the United States talked on the phone to share their assessment on the missile test and coordinate responses. They agreed to continue to restart the peace process with North Korea, South Korea's foreign ministry said. You can subscribe to 5-Minute News on YouTube with your preferred podcast app. Ask your smart speaker or enable 5-Minute News as your Amazon Alexa flash briefing skill. Subscribe, rate and review online at 5minute.news. 5-Minute News is an Evergreen podcast covering politics, inequality, health and climate, delivering independent, unbiased and essential world news daily.